Hey Mike, today in this video we're going to be looking at the joker and how to subdivide with your right hand without changing your picking pattern. So there are a couple ways to approach this, and they all kind of coincide with each other. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the emphasis on quarter notes. With a song like this, the quarter note is very heavy, and when you emphasize the quarter note, it really begins to strengthen the entire frame of the riff. So, and which also ties into what our right hand's doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you notice that my eighth notes are significantly quieter than my quarters, and they're a little looser. They're not always on, but that quarter note is so heavy that the gravity will not let it be out of time. And using this technique when you do any kind of strumming in the right way with moderation, if you want, is really helpful. And it is so helpful that it allows your hand to do things within that quarter note that would normally seem very stiff and very difficult to juxtapose in. And to go on to the step 2 or technique 2, which adds up to the whole concept of subdividing with your right hand, using your upstrokes as subdivisions. So in the Steve Miller band, The Joker, the song has kind of a quarter note heavy pulse, but with our guitars we're doing a lot of downstrokes via eighth notes, and there's a hammer on in the beginning, which is a 16th note. So we're not really doing anything until the end. And the reason that we can subdividing and using the upstrokes as our smaller divisions of the time really helps is because we're not changing anything. We're just leaving our pick connected to the strings. And this really helps out a lot with both loosening your wrist for a wider array of feels and grooves, and tightening our time to where even we can't escape it once we get into it. So let's go back to that eighth note groove with the emphasis on the quarter notes. Now if you watch my hand's going back up every time. And if you were to mute the volume, you wouldn't see any difference between this and this. And this is a really good exercise because you're not really you're not using any extra amount of energy. You're just redirecting it towards the string instead of coming back up to go down, because you got to come up to go down anyway, right? And so when you do this, everything else just kind of falls into place if you want to speed something up at the end, That's a perfect example. Because we're keeping that eighth note pulse anyway, so naturally to fill in the 16th notes in that fill at the end, all we need to do is redirect that upward energy onto the string. And we can do that without really much difference in what we're doing to get an eighth note pulse by just lowering your pick into the strings just a little, just so like the edge of your pick is scraping against the string. The sound is equal to really like digging in. It's actually, I think, a little better because there is some differentiation, and if you dig too much on those upstrokes, there's like a weird forceful sound that comes with it, which is good for some stuff like flat picking, like that kind of stuff. But if we're just doing like the regular kind of like groovy kind of stuff like the Joker, if we dig too much in, get that, but it's really jagged. So just lowering your pick in the strings just a little bit will give you what you need. And the last point that I want to talk about is tightening the range of your picking. And this goes for single note stuff within chords, like the Joker. And when you narrow that range from all your strings to just a couple, like say for the Joker, I would narrow it to the A, to the G string, A, D, and G. When you lower your picking to those three strings for the walkdown, it just becomes easier because you don't have to worry too much about getting the exact string that you want. You'll get that string with no problem, but you'll get another extra couple of overtones that will sound really great and really kind of loose and really loosen up the vibe and give you that feel of kind of like carefree, you know, chill kind of music, which the Joker is expressing. And that's really the key, is to have intent, but you know, maybe precision in this context isn't the most important part. Feeling and the feel and the groove of it is really the most important part when we're talking about the Joker, and that heavy 2 and 4, that heavy quarter note, and those subdivisions being lighter than the heaviness, so you can really feel that gravity. We don't want the other notes to be as heavy because then we lose the emphasis, right? If everything's emphasized, then nothing's emphasized. So lighter touches on the subdivisions, lighter touches on the subdivisions. We have narrowing our targeted strings from, like, say 4 to maybe 2 or 3. Using the upstrokes as the subdivisions, and using our internal metronome as like a guide. So whether it be your arm, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, or whether it be 1, 2, 3, 4, any kind of internal clock, even if it's totally mental or just your foot tapping, anything like that will really help you work within that framework of the time that you're in. So I hope this video has helped, and for anyone else watching, thank you for watching, and I hope it's helped you as well. Have a great day, everyone. See ya.